grabbed our box with name tags, and the only ones in there are Oh. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
we don't have, never have time. Sure, we have time. Kind of quarter to 6. And,
They show up like.
well, I just can be here then and.
All the same. It's still the colors.
Catherine's coming up.
Yeah, she's here. She's always around.
Yeah, I just use the bigger.
It's was it that on the first scene? Yeah. You said gray, I thought, oh, since I have the other ones, thank you. I said it, and then I would think about this on Gmail. Or text you, and you might say you got it. Yeah, delete.
Turn your volume down. Yeah, so we'll say it when we're setting up.
Thank you. I'll probably have to say. Well, I know. Do you have your conversation? Like if I choose where I go during the world shopping. Feeling wasn't really good. Mr. Matt,
Well,
I'll have you know that your alarm went off and then.
good. Could have been different. I could have said it at, morning.
Yeah, well, we would have heard that. At 4 in the morning, it
It
was
just went off
pouring.
until you tuned up.
It was pouring with the Bible. It was my house. We got that greenhouse. Oh, yeah. I got it. Give it. I did.
But I didn't read it other than.
I haven't. I am. We'll call the meeting to order. I roll call vote.
House,
Here.
Fox,
Here.
Here.
Schroep,
Here.
Mac.
Here.
Reading of the District Commission Vision Statement by Director Fox.
Pat, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Our mission to challenge all students to achieve their full potential through engaging, responsive educational experiences that inspire innovation, critical thinking, and collaboration. Our vision to develop learners who are competent, compassionate problem solvers. Our operating principles: information for one is information for all. No surprises, verify facts, think ahead, disagree, explain your thinking, and then commit.
Thank you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yeah, one amendment, to remove under transfers, the tech transfer for this meeting. I'll discuss at a later date.
What is that? Which one? It's under the consent agenda. Oh, number B under the consent agenda.
So you want to take the whole thing out?
Just
Just the tech.
okay.
Oh, the tag, okay.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'm second it. All right.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Are there any visitors for public comment? Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's orange. Approval of minutes from the last meeting. I'll second it. Been moved and seconded to approve the board minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All say no. Zero. Okay, there's no one here for public comment, so we will move on to the superintendent report.
Yes, here's an update on what's going well. You have copies in front of you as well. It's a lengthy list, so I'll go through them as quickly as I can, but I don't want to leave a single thing out because there's been a whole lot of things going well lately. CCHS bowlers, Isabel Crawford and Claire Gerken advanced to the Class 1A Girls State Individual Bowling Tournament, where Isabel tied for 5th place and Claire took 4th. Also advancing were Keaton Ross and Xander Bracer, also the 1A Boys State Individual Bowling Tournament qualifiers. In boys wrestling, Caden Blood, Ethan Peterson, Colin Weber were district champs, while Nathan Lopez, Carter Habercorn advanced to state. Congratulations to Caden for his 8th place finish. Rhymes with Orange and 2 Jazzed Up received Division 1 and 2 ratings respectively at the Jazz Band received, and the Jazz Band received a Division 1 rating at the state jazz competition. Pretty exciting there. I was able to attend the orchestra and band concerts recently, and as always, I was most impressed with our students' skills. It's a pleasure to be asked to serve on the Chamber Committee, which will design and implement a leadership development program for Charles City. Our first meeting is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 7:30. I'm looking forward to that. Jeff Sisson and Amanda Rawmiller provided a session for Rotary last week on the 8th grade Riverside Cemetery project. This project has been an active partnership since 2017 and includes upgrades to the cemetery chapel, roof, window restoration and paint, for example, and has raised over $50,000 in 4 years. The students are also involved in conducting research and subsequently telling the untold stories of Riverside Cemetery through videos. Lead teacher Carly Martin hosted a coaching meeting with the NEIC instructional coaches to facilitate their professional development recently. I was able to stop and see many engaged adult learners working to improve their professional skills. Nice leadership on Carly's part for our district. The NIAC Board of Directors approved the bid for the Charles City Career Center on Thursday, February 16th. The bid was awarded to Woodruff Construction out of Waterloo for $4,828,000. That bid was a little bit below what they expected at $4.8 million. That's good news. Construction is to begin work on the addition as soon as the weather cooperates. I continue to support Rotary by attending the new meetings each Monday. It is a pleasure to highlight the innovative campus today and the Carrie Lane School and Flex programs with a presentation by Assistant Principal Heather Phillips that was supported by the students' testimonies. We had 3 students speaking there. FFA members received high marks at sub-district with the following groups advancing 2 districts. Parliamentary Procedure Team, Braden Ellis, Quinn Heidebrink, Anya Riziska, Nick Williams, Alex Wright winning first place gold. Chapter Program Group, Peyton Hadley, Oliver Krieger, Emma Pritchard taking first place gold. Zach Chambers, Ag Sales, first place gold. Natalie White, Extemporaneous Speaking, first place gold. Maya Bruning, Job Interview, first place gold. Amelia McKenna, Prepared Public Speaking, second place gold. And Ava Molitor, Speed Speaking, third place silver. I was able to attend the Charles City Caps penning ceremony held at Zoetis last week. Our business partner, as you know, Zoetis, for our ongoing work in this problems-based program. Claire Gherkin, Alex Wallers, Josette Bennings were recognized for their progress in the program thus far this semester. I've been able to share lunch with students periodically this year, and I continue to be impressed with insights from our amazing kids. I'm going to continue this practice as a means of understanding the Charles City School District experience from our students' perspective. I recently formed an advisory group consisting of 4 teachers and 5 community members and/or parents. The purpose of this group is to engage in an exchange of advice and share input that's beneficial to all parties. Ultimately, it will benefit the district as a whole. Finally, the Crisis and Life Safety Committee, which you recall was recently formed in late August of this year to address all of our crisis response and life safety efforts here in the district. We're going to be attending a tabletop simulation crisis response exercise on Thursday of this week, and we're doing that in collaboration with Jason Webster, who, as you know, is our Floyd County Emergency Management Coordinator. I've engaged in tabletop simulations like that in my former districts, and I'm pleased that Floyd County will be hosting their first such experience that will be included in as well. Okay. Any questions? Comment?
Thanks, Ann. I'm glad that you're gonna be helping with that leadership development program for Charles.
It's going to be awesome. In my former district, we were a part of that, and apparently it's fairly common in some areas. So we're learning from some of our neighboring districts. I'm excited that Mark Wiggs has some plans already kind of laid out for us to review. So I look forward to that experience, because leadership development in our community will have exponential impact. Just imagine, and you don't have to be young, middle-aged. I participated myself, and I was more than 50 years old at the time. So.
Great. Okay, committee reports. Facilities.
We had a meeting, I don't remember what date, was called to discuss the audiovisual. We spend a lot of money per month, and it struck me that it's 19,000 per month for audiovisual throughout the district, and that just seemed like a lot. So I wanted to understand. So they did get quite a bit of information what it's used for, and I have a on-site visit with Washington Elementary, but not till March 21st in the morning at 8:30. Go.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for the tip.
Yep. Got a lot of them planned there. So we're gonna learn. We have a lease, I think it is, with the company that supplies all this stuff, and it runs out within a couple of years, I think. And the goal is to plan for what we need, why we need it, and I think in a little bit more frugal fashion. So
It's a lease to buy, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that. Okay, negotiations and compensation, I guess that's me. We met Friday afternoon and were able to settle a preliminary agreement with the teachers, which we'll be talking about later in this meeting. Anything else? No.
It's probably one of the quickest meetings we've had. And if we schedule more meetings at 3:30 on Fridays, I think they'll go that fast. too.
That's right. We have a meeting, I think it's next week, to continue to work on Schedule F, which is the extracurricular. Is that what you call it? Yeah, extracurricular schedule, some coaches and music and drama and all of that stuff. And policy, we had a meeting Friday of the policy committee, and we'll be talking about that later as we have looked at the policies that IASB has provided us with based on legislation from the first quarter, second quarter.
Is this for one of our handbooks or?
No, it's for the board policy, but like they have their lawyers go through and do it so that we don't have to pay our lawyers. So, okay. So we're gonna recommend that they be adopted. Okay, I think we have some young people back here that would like to, well, I don't know if you'd like to, but are going to present us.
I think they'd like to.
We're
with
setting
their-
up, so the audience is going to be.
Okay, good. Yeah, so it is. Andrews, you guys want to be scared?
No.
You want me to move them?
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh. We just need to move the. Stuff. Yes. I mean, we can slide those to the. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's.
Boss,
I am the boss.
which direction are you going in?
We're gonna be performing over here. So if you would like to see it and not look at our behind the entire time, I would recommend sitting in the couchy sections over here.
I'm gonna move this. Is this gonna be in your way?
Yeah, if
Well,
if you
But
could,
this is so everybody can see it who watches this.
okay.
Can I put it up here?
Yeah, I was thinking to them. Let's just, it might just give an angled view for those who are joining us from home. But what if we just did this and then you tell me if it looks wacky on the screen? Is this okay? Did you
That would
guys
be a
think?
lot better, yeah.
So look, it's still okay. Look at you guys. Say something and it'll turn.
Oh, yeah, it's looking at us. I see it.
You guys look good.
We do a sound check, Jacob? Just do opening at 70.
I've seen it.
I think I set it at 0. but-
If you want to, you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just live on the screen. And did we mention it might be some sensitive comment?
Yeah, so you can- Oh,
We're gonna do it before,
you want to mention it, Okay. We're good, Jacob.
Okay, there is some trigger warning, so there's mention of suicide and then there are images of gun use, so if you wanna like
Sensitive.
tune out, yeah, it's some sensitive topics, so for 10 minutes, yeah.
Are we in our semicircle?
We are.
Good. America, land of the free, home of the brave, a place whose extraordinary freedom has created a place where accidents of all kinds can happen. Any kid can grow up to be president.
And any kid can grow up to be his killer. Hey pal, feeling blue, don't know what to do. Hey pal, I mean you, yeah. Come here and kill a president.
13 people have tried to assassinate the president of the United States. 4 have succeeded. These murderers and would-be murderers are generally dismissed as misfits and maniacs who have little in common with each other
and nothing in common with the rest of us. No job, cupboard bare, one room, one there. Hey pal, don't despair, you wanna shoot a president. Come on and shoot a president.
Assassins by Stephen Sondheim suggest that while these individuals, to say the least, are peculiar, taken as a group, we are peculiarly American. We share a common desire to be remembered, to be vindicated, to be loved.
Some guys think they can't be winners. First prize often goes to rank beginners.
Why do these dreadful events happen here with such horrifying frequency in such an appallingly similar fashion? Assassins suggest that in America, our dreams not only can come true, but should come true. And that if they don't, someone or something is to blame.
Dearest Marina, today I end my life so that your life can begin.
Last night, you said that I oppressed you.
You don't really want to end your life, do you? Yes, I do.
Such a waste. And besides, that's not why you're really here.
That is none of your business. Who are you?
We are your friends, Lee.
I don't have any friends.
Yes, you did.
You know nothing about me.
Oh, we know everything.
Born in New Orleans, October 1939. After the high school at 17, joined the Marines.
Court-martialed twice.
Defected to the Soviet Union, 1959. Defected back, June 1962.
Married Marina Niclovania.
Current employment stock boy, textbook depository. Oh, and depressed over the fact that your estranged wife views you as a dismal and pathetic failure. You rose before dawn.
Kiss your sleeping children. Put your last $100 and your wedding ring into a demi-tasse cup on the table. And came here to kill yourself.
You can't be real. Oh, we're real, all right. And deep in the darkest corners of every American psyche.
What do you truly want, Lee? I want to kill myself. To be appreciated, to be valued.
To be in other people's thoughts. You want someone to love you, Lee. Isn't that right? Huh? Lee?
Yes. Forget it.
You think by killing yourself you're going to find that? Oh, when I'm dead, then they'll be sorry.
When I'm dead, they'll know how much they love you.
Shut up! Sorry, Lee. It's just so childish. It's so childish. I should kill myself. I should. No hope. Take me back.
You should kill the President of the United States.
His plane landed at the airport 15 minutes ago. He's coming into town to make a speech. His motorcade will go right past this window.
What it does, you shoot him.
I didn't come here to shoot the President.
Get shot.
All your life, you've been a victim, Lee. A victim of neglect, of indifference, of your mother's scorn, of your wife's contempt of American injustice. And so you finally had enough. And how are you planning on getting back? By becoming your own victim. Please.
I'm not a murderer. Nobody said you were. When you kill a president, it isn't murder.
Murder is a tawdry little crime. It's born of greed, or lust, or liquor. Adulterers and shopkeepers get murdered.
Oh, when a president gets killed, when Julius Caesar got killed, he was assassinated.
And the man who did it,
Brutus.
Ah, you know his name. That happened, what, 2,000 years ago? And here's a high school dropout with a $1.25 job in Dallas who knows who he was. And they say famous bleeder.
Who are you?
My name is John Wilkes-Booth, Lee.
John Wilkes Booth, John Abraham Lincoln. I don't get this.
It's simple, Lee. All your life, you've wanted to be a part of something. You're finally going to get that wish.
Beyond Slovash, William McKinley.
Samuel Bick, Richard Nixon,
From Gerald Ford.
Charles Patel, James Garfield.
I did because no one cared about the poor man's pain. I did it so my hippie friends would know where I was coming from.
Where's my prize? I did it to preserve the Union and promote the sale of my book.
I did it so I know where I was coming from.
I did it to bring down the government of Abraham Lincoln.
I did it to make them listen
Don't I
to
get a
Charlie.
I did
prize?
it because it's wrong for one man to have so much service and other men have none.
I deserve a goddamn prize.
I did it so that Charlie would be on TV and he'd save the world.
Where's my prize?
You have a responsibility here, Lee.
You? Yes.
No, the mafia. Some Cuban crouch behind a stockade fence. But this? You're part of it.
I can't. People will hate me. They'll hate me with a passion, Lee. People.
For
Years to come.
Take a look, Lee. You know what that is? That's America, Lee, the shining city. But in here, this is America too. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. Desperation, yes, but quiet, I don't think so. You have the power of Pandora's box. Open it. I envy you.
We're your family. I admire you. I respect you.
make us proud of you, family. We're depending on you, future.
Listen to us, we
Yeah,
waiting for you. Make us the boy. We're your family. We're depending on you. All you have to do is squeeze your little cheek. Squeeze your little finger. You can just
Everybody's got the right to be happy.
Don't be mad, life's not as bad as it seems. Rich man, poor man, black or white, everybody gets a bite. Everybody just hold tight to your dreams. Everybody's got the right to their dreams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want this?
Yeah, or I can grab it. It's no big deal. Oh, we don't need it, do we? We're finished with public comment. Oh, yes, we better.
Okay.
Thank you, Anders. We're just not.
Has a message. I just moved on.
Sorry.
Back up, that's
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Can I test this? Is this on? Can you check this for me? I'm not sure it's on. What's that?
I'm sure I'll be. Not sure I'll be quite as entertaining, but I will try. Very nice performance. Okay, I am here tonight to talk to you, give you a mid-year update around the building goals for Washington Elementary. As you know, we serve grades pre-K through 2 currently. All right, the first slide. You can go out now. That just lists, some of our leadership teams that we have in the building. Our ILT or instructional leadership team is made up of our PLC facilitators. There's 2 per grade level, one that focuses on literacy and one that focuses on math. We have a special education rep, school counselor, instructional coaches, the lead teacher, principal, and then at times we consult the director of academic services. We also have a SEL or social emotional leadership team. That's our span of care leaders. There's I think 8. And then our school counselor, our lead teacher heads this up in the building, and then a district social worker that we access if we need. So, and as I go through these goals, I have to say how much time and work that the teachers do. I can't express that enough. All the change that they've been doing the last couple of years and all the work that they're putting in for us to reach our goals. So. Here's our 3 goals. Our academic goal is to implement a phonics instruction. So that's explicit, systematic phonics instruction every day and readers workshop with fidelity to increase the % of students meeting grade level literacy benchmarks. And we're going to measure that with our fast bridge assessments. And then what we call the IGDs or individual growth and development screener. That's something that's used just for preschool aged kids. Culture and climate, we want to increase instructional time by decreasing the number of office discipline referrals, referred to as ODRs, as measured by our school-wide information system or our SWIS data. And then goal 3 is parent engagement. Teachers are going to implement strategies to increase parent involvement and increase positive perception of the school as measured by our conditions for learning survey. It's going to be a district-wide survey that we will send out in the spring, I believe. So to start, this is FastBridge. So this is the tool that we're going to use to measure our progress. I just put a little bit of a blurb in there for you to kind of understand what it is. It's a screener, and it just allows us to identify students who might be at risk for not developing early reading skills. It lets us know if they are on track or not to reach grade level benchmarks by the end of each school year. If a student is flagged after we do the screener as at risk or has some risk, we do further assessments like diagnostic assessments to see what skills they're lacking. And then students receive small group targeted instruction on that skill to close that gap. And then students are monitored weekly by classroom teachers. So what I wanted to do is just kind of give a glimpse of all of our literacy data. And the first one up there, Jose, if you want to click that historical data, this will just give you kind of a glimpse of what the data looked like when, this is what I have access to when I arrived. So these are spring scores. You can see it's got kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and start going all the way back to 2017-18. For that year, we had no spring data for kindergarten. Not sure why there wasn't any there. You can see the first grade was at about 63% of our kids were at benchmark. And then for second grade, we had 66 of the kids were at benchmark. Going to 18-19, you can see that there. Kindergarten is the light blue again. So those were 46, 48, and 69. Spring of 2020, we all know where we were. We were not in school, so we didn't assess then. And then last year, our spring data, if you can see that there, we were 48% of our kids were at benchmark in kindergarten, 39 for first grade, and then 36 for second grade. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this year's data. If you want to click on the kindergarten TK. So this is our most recent data. So this is, if you'll look at that, so we've got The dark pink is high risk, light pink is some risk, and then the light purple is low risk. There's no college pathway for this assessment. This is the early reading test that we give to kindergarten and first grade. It assesses all like beginning reading skills, concepts of print, onset sounds, all those kinds of skills there. So if you'll take a look there, I put and then on the right-hand side, that is the growth. And that's something that we're paying really close attention to this year. We want kids to make typical growth or aggressive growth. And as we do more work with our SAMI, that has to do with the Iowa School Profile, a lot of that score is tied to growth. I think it's 18% of that score is derived by the growth of all kids. So if you'll look at that, and then the bottom down there, those are the number. I took the actual number of kids in case anybody wanted to look at that. So in the fall, we had 26 kids at high risk. In the winter, we took that down to 10. So that's good growth there. And then some risk, you can see that, and then low risk. Okay. So just for reference to what we want that number to be, like we want to have 80% or more of our kids at low risk. That's our goal. That means your core curriculum or your universal instruction is meeting the needs of all of our kids. So that's really what we're shooting. I mean, obviously we're shooting for 100, but 80 is what we want to see there. Okay, so that's kindergarten. Go on to first grade. Kind of the same thing there. The left-hand side is the percent of kids at benchmark. In each of the category, benchmark would be the light purple. And then the right-hand side is the growth. So you can see the percentage of kids that made typical growth or aggressive growth, which is where we want them to be. So if you look down in that little table, I gave just the hard numbers. 80 of our kids had typical or aggressive growth in first grade. Okay. And then second grade, they are measured on, it's called A reading. That's a different kind of a test. And you can see there. Now this assessment does have a college pathway category there. You can see that. So what we want is we want the two purples to add up to 80%. That means that our core instruction is meeting the needs of all of our kids. And then you'll see the growth over there as well. Okay. And then the last one is it's the individual growth and development indicators. That's the IGDs. That's what we use specifically just for preschool. And we just started that last year. That's something really new. And it's just like an early screener for us to kind of take a dipstick of early literacy skills for kids that are in our preschool program. All right, so our goals, I just kind of went through and talked a little bit about what are some things that we've already done. So we know that we've adopted a resource to teach explicit phonics. That was the really great reading. We did a mid-year adoption last year. So now kids have had one full year of that instruction. We've provided professional learning around the science of reading. We've gathered baseline data around the fidelity of implementation of our workshop framework. Staff members have had professional learning around small group literacy instruction. That's where they find out what skills the students are missing, and then they get that additional small group on the side targeted to what each kid needs. And then we've adopted a resource for small group literacy instruction. We purchased that this fall. It's called the Geodes, and it really does is build vocabulary and background knowledge for kids. And then we've also increased the amount of collaboration for teachers through PLCs. Last year we had 30 minutes a week that we met in PLCs or professional learning communities. This year we meet for 45 minutes twice a week. So, and that's a big factor for improving instruction is that collaboration.
What do you do?
Yep, like right now we're working on, and it's on the next slide, you can kind of go, Jose. Right now we're working on the Iowa core standards and making sure that we are aligning all of our instruction with the standards and it's cohesive across every classroom. And then we create proficiency scales so that we know what we're looking for, and then the assessments so we can tell are they making it or not, and if they don't, so what can we do?
Sounds like you might have a syllabus of some sort even for those young grades.
Yeah, like the end goal is to have one document that's going to have all of our units in it with the assessments that go along with it too. So if we hire
available, put on our webpage so that Somebody wants to look what's going on.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, yeah, I mean, I suppose you could put it on there, but like if we hire a new teacher or people change teams, it's like they come in and it's all just right there. So it's part of creating that guaranteed and viable curriculum that every kid in every classroom is going to get the same, and it's aligned to the Iowa core standards.
So if you have phonics or whatever else class you have in first grade, every one of those subjects has some kind of a teaching process and goal.
Like, yeah, basically like the unit, the plan, the teaching plan for the year. And that adjust, you would adjust that every year based on, what your kids need. What we're currently doing, our leadership team is learning the framework for effective and efficient PLCs, getting a group together and being a healthy team and being able to collaborate effectively is a huge component of that. Grade level teams are going to have this by the end of the year, going to have all their teaching and learning standards aligned to the Iowa core literacy standards for reading. And they'll have proficiency scales for all of their reading units. We are monitoring the fidelity of the implementation of phonemic awareness and phonics instruction. So we got the new curriculum, that's great, but we also want to make sure we're monitoring that we're implementing it correctly. And we purchased that last January. Yeah.
How many people are meeting in these groups at a time?
So it's like grade levels. So kindergarten would be 6.
Okay.
And then myself and the lead teacher and sometimes the instructional coach. Sometimes Jen joins us, the academic services, based on whatever
So
they need.
there's somebody that's the facilitator, obviously.
Yeah, so right now, it'd be like the lead teacher is doing most of that right now, and myself, and then the goal is to train the PLC facilitators to run their own grade level teams. But we want to make sure they have the capacity to be able to do that. Let's see, specially designed instruction, learning for preschool teachers. They're taking part of a 3-year learning training through the AEA. So this is year 2. So they go to that once a month. So, and then we're using the IGDs to monitor the growth of our preschool students, which is something that's new. We haven't done that historically, but just making sure that we are keeping an eye on preschool kids and how they're progressing too. And what we have planned, grade level and department leaders will provide learning around PLC plus framework. That's what we're using. So the leadership team is doing it right now, and they're going to take it to their grade level teams next year and take that learning and build that team up. Report cards are going to be aligned with proficiency scales. Our school improvement team will complete the self-assessment of multi-tiered supports. That's the SAMI work that we're doing as an entire district. And then we'll take that information. We're doing that in May 5th, I believe. And we'll create a plan and set new goals for 23-24.
Can you explain the second one?
Report cards will be aligned with proficiency scales. So the report card's the proficiency scales and then the assessments are going to be like aligned with the grade cards. Right now, I think there's a few gaps in there. So they'll be completely aligned. So we'll be revising the report card this summer, basically for families. Right. Okay, goal 2 is going to be around behavior. So what I've included is our Swiss data. So this is our ODR or Office Discipline Referral Behavior data. This is just the triangle data for last year. So anytime you want 80% of your kids to be in the green, so you can see we're almost there. You're going to always have a few kids that need like tier 2 support or a little extra support. And then you're going to have the tippy top there is going to need some intensive support around behavior and school expectations. So that was last year. And then this is this year. So you can see this year we don't have that. We want that green to hit up to the 80. So we're not quite there yet. So we're still working on developing, strengthening our tier 1 and then putting in some tier 2 and tier 3 support for kids.
What is that about to? The support.
Oh, what does the support look like?
Yeah.
It kind of varies. Like there's tier 2 supports are one thing that we have in place is check in, check out. It just gives kids another adult to connect with at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. And then during the day, the teacher checks in with them frequently just to kind of give them feedback around, were you respectful, were you responsible, and were you safe? So that's what that looks like. We have some small groups that meet once a week for 6 weeks, depending on what the kids need. We have pro-social, school-related behavior, and then self-regulation. And then we just started, this week, we have some more intensive groups that are meeting every day for 3 weeks. That the classroom teachers are teaching the skills the students need support with. So just to kind of get that behavior, like I say, under control, but so they can access the learning too, so.
This thing that the two young ladies that were counselors presented to us recently, is that part of, you guys use that down there?
Was it Character Strong? Yeah, so that'll be, I think it's called Purposeful People at our level, and that'll start next year is the plan. So yeah, that will fit into that as well. That'd be like our tier 1, like our universal that everybody gets. All right, goal 2, what we have already done. We rebooted our positive behavior interventions and supports last year. We created common expectations for each location in the building. We settled on our 3 expectations: respectful, responsible, safe, defined what that looks like in each area of the building, and then explicitly taught that to students at the beginning of the year and then throughout the year as needed. That's the Common Academy there. We are collecting consistent data. Everybody's on the same page. We've got a matrix around what the behavior should look like for each of the categories there. We paused leader and me. We felt like there was a lot of confusion. We were trying to blend 2 things, leader and me and PBIS, and it just got really confusing for the adults and for the kids. So we just took a break with that this year. And then we had some professional learning around the function of behavior. So, why do kids do what they do? So we can, are they doing it because they need attention? How can we give them that attention before the problem behavior occurs, that kind of thing? Or are they avoiding all sorts of stuff there? And then our leadership team is doing work around culture currently. All right, what we have planned, we're going to continue to strengthen our tier 1 practices. We know we can't intervene our way out of a problem. So we got to make sure that our foundation is strong. So we're going to continue that. We're going to implement supports for tier 2 and tier 3 for students that need it. Continued professional learning for teachers and staff, and then continue to provide resources for families in the area of mental health. We've got a lot of students that have mental health concerns and needs, additional supports outside of school.
You said something about a foundation.
Tier 1.
Tier 1 is just your foundation. It's just what every kid gets, and that makes sense.
What do they get?
Like as far as SEL learning during morning meeting, we use zones and just our PBIS expectations, and then whenever the school counselor teaches currently. And then the purposeful people will be a part of that next year. All right, what we have, okay. The other thing I will, yep, go. The other thing that we're monitoring really closely is attendance. When I arrived last year, we noticed that we had a high rate of students that were absent. So I did some work with the counselor last year to kind of communicate with families and notify them when kids were reaching that threshold of days. This year, that's something that our lead teacher has taken on with our guidance counselor. And as you can see there, we've made some significant progress there. So this graph shows the number of kids or how many kids have missed 10% of the school year so far. So that would be, we had over 20% of our kids at fall, first semester that missed 10% or more of the school year. And then this year that's shrunk. And I think that's really large in part to the lead teacher and the guidance counselor really working with families. Teachers are notifying families when they hit, like if they're gone 3 days, hey, we're calling, hey, where are you at? What's going on? What can we help with? Because we know that we need kids to be in school to access the learning in order to make any progress. So, right. All right, family engagement is our third goal. Things that we have done, all grade levels share a weekly newsletter with families that's consistent across the teachers. So at the grade level, all kindergarten teachers send out the same newsletter and they're working on the same things. And so everybody gets the same information. We're making positive contacts to families. I think I looked before I came in, we were like at 863, I think, that teachers, either it's a phone call or it's a postcard or it's an email, just making that positive contact to build that relationship with our families. We had a family literacy night this year. I know that's something that they had, due to the pandemic, those kinds of things kind of went to a halt, and we started that back up this year. So really good communication. I think we just push our teachers just to make sure that we're keeping our parents informed. when things happen. And then our PTO was reestablished this year. So that's always nice. And what we have planned, just continuing those family nights for literacy and math, just to get our kids or get our families in the building. We're going to participate in the Family Conditions for Learning survey. Just continue to strengthen that communication with our families, just reach out, keep them informed of stuff what's going on with their kids. And then one goal I have for next year is to create a parent advisory team where I have a group of parents that just come in and, kind of share information, give ideas, give feedback, just in general. So that's the last one. All right. Any specific questions? Any other information you would like to have that I don't have here?
I don't think so. It's just that there's a lot going on there, and I hope there's a lot of instruction going on also.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
kids are there for.
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
Social thing.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they're there to learn.
Yeah, you're right. They are.
Thank you. Thank you. Second grade moved to Lincoln Elementary.
As you know, we've been planning and setting the groundwork for the move of second grade, and this is to establish equity, efficiency, and to be more effective with the time that we do have for students, families, parents, teachers, and leaders. I'm going to recommend that we move forward with this unless you have any questions. You've had multiple sessions and presentations. Parents have been involved, teachers have been involved, and even after approval, should you give that tonight, the plans continue to emerge for the specific details of the actual physical move itself, and communication will continue.
This starts the
Next fall.
the new year.
Mhm.
So I think the better use of our space and personnel. I guess the motion is, I'll make the motion that we to allow Dr. Ann Lundquist to transfer second grade from Washington Elementary to Lincoln Elementary.
A second. Been moved and seconded to allow Dr. Ann Lundquist to transfer second grade from Washington Elementary to Lincoln Elementary. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I guess one of the questions I have is related to the space that's in Washington. What will we do with that?
There will be several vacant classrooms. I am beginning very, very informal conversations about how to best use that space. It is fully equipped with technology, and so I will be gathering information. I have a few ideas myself, but it's my intent not to leave those rooms vacant. They are not, it would not be a good use of district resources to use them as storage rooms. So I am committed to determining how we can best use those for instruction with our students. I'm also aware that our lease on the church may be limited in number of years ahead, where we have our innovative campus, Kerry Lane, and the Flex program. So I'm also considering what the implications there might be for that on our available usable space.
I had a couple people ask me, did we reallocate those numbers and change classroom sizes and hire more teachers? I didn't think that was on the schedule.
No, although I wish that would be the case. I don't think that that would be sustainable in a district our size. Should that change? Certainly I'm open for that.
Any further discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor of allowing Dr. Ann Lundquist to transfer second grade from Washington Elementary to Lincoln Elementary, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passes 5-0. Speaking of which, locker bids.
Yeah, Jerry Mitchell was cheering on the comments at the basketball game in Waterloo, so I was going to help him out tonight. Because of the second grade move, and your guys' approval, we'll need an additional 100 lockers. He went out for bids, and H2I Group was the low bid for 100 additional lockers for looking to accommodate that move. This will be coming out of the Pepple Fund reserves.
What does that money include? Does that include installation and?
So our own custodians can install the lockers, so we're purchasing lockers and our own maintenance staff custodians will install them. So that's operational lockers ready to go for the 23-24 school year.
What's the size? Big,
I don't know, comparable to what we have there.
Unless
And
it's-
they'll be in the one wide hallway as you're heading down to the new addition.
We talked about that at one of the meetings. I was thinking 5 feet.
That's the standard size. And fifth graders are sometimes, pardon me, fourth graders are sometimes very tall.
Yeah.
So
People didn't stick it in each other. I make a motion to approve the low bid from H2I Group totaling $33,745 to be paid for out of Pepple reserves.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the low bid from H2I Group totaling $33,745 to be paid for out of Pepple reserves. Is there any further discussion?
I guess I just have one question. I'm guessing it was looked at we cannot move the existing lockers into the new space. Like we can't move the lockers from Washington to Lincoln.
That's correct. I think they're built in the wall.
Yeah, they're built into the wall.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say no. Motion carries 5-0. Air gas clean air system.
Yeah, so we, our industrial tech department received a grant to purchase some new equipment for their classroom. And during that process, they needed additional ductwork to provide clean air. So Mr. Mitchell went out for bids to get a whole new clean air system for that industrial tech space. And we found this was a valid expense to use our COVID dollars on to provide clean air, sawdust and stuff, well, metal from the welding. So mechanical air was a little bit on that system and allowed them to be up and running with all their equipment.
this project actually started right as they were awarded that equipment, which was quite a expensive gift, if you will. And then COVID kind of shut down the installation. And so since then, really the fumes in the welding area are really impacted by that. So this is a fairly small expense for this enormous and incredibly efficient air handling system, which if you would like a tour, I always encourage you to do that. It'd be awesome to get down that industrial tech area and see that, since we've added the welding program.
And one piece of that equipment was a laser metal.
There's a lathe. There's a plasma cutter on there.
Plasma cutter, that was the word I was trying.
And the metal lathe that you're thinking of, we are in the process of placing our order for, and we'll be using our RPP funds for that.
Make a motion that we approve the low bid from mechanical air for $33,310 to be paid out of ESSER funding. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the low bid from mechanical air for $33,310 to be paid for out of ESSER funding. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Let's say no. 5-0. Air handler unit, north end of the high school.
This is for a new air handling unit on the side of the high school. This was part of Jerry's 5-year strategic plan they brought to the board earlier this year. He had us seek bids earlier just to get it put on order to have it by this summer for a summer project. So McGage was the low bid for the air handling unit, and this wouldn't get paid for until our 23-24 capital allotment comes in.
He has to have approval to be able to order it.
Yes, I have approval to be able to order it. So we'll just try to the supply chain.
Anyway,
How much? Well, I'll make a motion to approve a little bit from the gauge totaling $63,210 paid out of 23-24 capital allotment.
is that it?
And then how much square foot did that one cover?
That's a question for Jerry. It's gonna be on this end of the building. Right, and was not included in the referendum estimates that we gathered earlier this year, because this has been on the plan for some time.
Any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the low bid from McGage totaling $63,210 to be paid out of the 2023-2024 capital allotment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no.
Aye.
5-0. This also has to do with the move to second grade to Lincoln. Marcia talked about it at our last meeting. So we'll lift at Lincoln.
So we're 88 client with the second grade move over to Lincoln. They purchased out a couple of reserves. Discount Mobility was the only bidder, and it matches the other one that we have, that building. So we're going forward a little bit.
Make a motion to approve that bid from the discount mobility lives for $17,345.
Their second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bid from Discount Mobility Lifts for $17,345. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. 5-0. Okay, network licensing renewal. This is from April.
This is from April, and recently, she was quite surprised to learn and we had a little bit of an arm wrestling with this group when they let us know that our licenses were about to expire on March 22nd. We do have a 30-day grace period. With this in mind, we have about 190 devices that are actively in need of the continuation. We were able to get 3 bids for the 1-year network licensing renewal. And at that point, we may explore other licensing renewal options because of our dissatisfaction. But what we're looking for is a purchase that we need to make during March so that we can acquire those renewal licenses before our current.
How long will this one be for? 12 months?
So what exactly does it do?
It's our licensing agreement.
No, but I mean, what does the network licensing, what does it do?
It allows us to actually use the license. Without it, our network would be shut down. We would no longer have access as a thoroughfare.
Gotcha.
Between the buildings?
Altogether, access to the network from any of the 190 points.
Where are those? When you say access points?
So we have 150 wireless access points, and then we have 40 other network switches. And all of them have to have renewable
Throughout
licensing.
all campuses. There's a
Every
lot.
building.
So I remember this conversation, this predates, I remember when we bought this system is a subscription-based model, so we don't pay for it every year, it turns off. And so when we bought this, we had a long conversation around the subscription. At the time, I think we thought this was the best solution, but if you have to pay $28,000 a year to keep hardware that we bought, online, maybe it's something that we look at something else, because that's a lot of money.
Yes, and she would agree with you if she were here.
Yeah.
But let's face it, Jack's playing ball tonight. Jack's.
Oh, okay.
There's gotta be some software.
Well, yeah, so typically you just buy the hardware and then you pay a maintenance fee of like $6,000 a year. And then it just runs.
Does this have to do with power school or
No, just our
Like our internet.
our internet? So it sounds like we need to take care of it now, but
Yeah.
do some shopping.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's continuing seeking bids. And
Do you know how much we have left in our E-rate money for the 5-year running?
so the next two agenda items are gonna see rate.
But we don't know how much we have, do we? Because we get so much money from the federal government every 5 years, and then based on our free and reduced lunch, we have a percentage that we're responsible for, and then the federal government will give us, and then there are different categories, right, for each different area that we can essentially buy technology through. And they talked about making IT security as one of the options as well, but I don't think that's been approved yet, but actually, I probably can look it up, but I'd make a motion to approve the Director of Technology, April Hansen's winning bid from Heartland Business Systems totaling $27,241.96.
Been moved and seconded to approve Director of Technology April Hansen's winning bid from Heartland Business Systems totaling $27,241.96. Discussion further? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no.
Aye.
5-0. I'm assuming you're voting yes, right, Catherine? It's a little delayed, okay? Okay. The next one is category 1 federal E-rate. Which I can't explain. I hope you can. Somebody.
So. I mean, the district, so we received 3 bids through the Iowa Communications Network for based off like what Josh was describing, we get a certain amount of discount based on our free and reduced lunch. We can apply to get an extension to which expires June 30th, 2023. What would this extension do? It gives us an 80% discount our internet services by 80%. Which will be contracted for a total of $230.40 a month instead of $1,152 a month. For a total of $2,764.80 a year. So as you can see, there's an 80% savings on our internet bill on a monthly basis if we apply for this. Federal reimbursement.
So they bring the internet up to a point, and then we have this other network thing, and that
Correct. You're right, CM.
So. If I'm right, we have $265,597 available to spend at $3. $265,697. So. $265,000.
Why would we not do this if it's saving us that much?
That's what we both described to me, so it's 80% off the internet bill.
Yeah,
This-
I mean,
We just haven't approved the,
yeah.
essentially the agreement to continue about the communications network.
I'd make a motion to approve the Director of Technology, April Hansen's winning bid with Iowa Communications total $1,152 a month for 3 years of internet service with an optional 1-year extension.
second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Director of Technology April Hansen's winning bid from the Iowa Communications Network totaling $1,152 per month for 3 years of internet services with an optional 1-year extension following. Any further discussion?
Because I'm just not real sure what were the difference between number 15 and number 16. Gotta be a difference in what they do.
So one is our switches and networks, so like one's our Wi-Fi point and our hard is switches licensing. And then the next one is an application to the federal government to reduce the cost that we pay on our monthly internet bill. And then the next one, well, I'm not there yet.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Category 2 federal E-rate.
So these are, the internal connections bid. We're in our entire fleet of now requesting,
What's the bid though? Like, it doesn't have a dollar figure.
yeah, so we received a total of 6 bids for our E-rate internal connections application. We are recommending to approve Director of Technology April Hanson's winning bid from Heartland Business Systems, a pre-discounted amount of $98,847.31 with the selection of purchasing the MR44 wireless access point model instead of more expensive MR46 model. These bids were due at 3 today, and these are the 28-day window.
Okay, so this is what we're.
No, yeah.
Okay. So.
Or these 65, however many access points. Part of the 150, the 15.
Likely, yes.
So this is a discount on the one we previously,
These are upgrades, and I apologize, I'm not able to go into more depth.
yeah, I can't either. Can you,
No, that's the end quote, bro.
here,
Well, this is what, I mean, I can read that.
Right, that's what Evan just read.
Yeah, that was.
here, Josh.
All right.
He apologized, but she didn't want to miss something, sub-state.
Yeah, sure. So
Apparently, we need this to stay online.
Yeah,
Right, somebody's doing the work to figure out how to be more efficient, I hope. Right,
and she, yeah, and save money.
right.
I mean, I know she does that and all the time.
So I'll make the motion that we approve the winning bid as presented.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded to approve the winning bid as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed,
Aye.
say no. 5-0. Safety strong curriculum.
Yes, most recently, our district crisis and life safety committee. As part of the work that we have before us, there are a number of things going on. One was the tabletop exercise that you heard me mention earlier tonight, along with our regular meetings and our partnerships. I'm going to ask, please come forward, Ingrid Tutu. She, you recognize her as a teacher, but she's here actually at my request, because one of the things that has been missing has been safety curriculum for our students. And I have been familiar with a number of other safety curriculums, and most recently experienced this one in my teaching last year. And I thought it was very thorough. It was appropriately directed towards age appropriate, if you will, for the learners. And so I've asked Ingrid to come and talk about this. So on the one hand, we're educating our children how to be safety strong and aware of their surroundings. Other aspects are our systems security. Other aspects might be our response in a crisis. So this is specifically to the curriculum that we are proposing that the district purchase. Ingrid, can you spend about 5 minutes telling us a little bit about this?
Sure.
Oh, and if you would, there are slides. On number 18 there, see if you can find those in the agenda on number 18. There you go.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, my company is called Safety Strong, and it's a comprehensive curriculum that it's intended for grades pre-K through grade 6. And the purpose of the curriculum is to create a foundation like at the grassroots level that they could just like fire safety and bus safety, like stop, drop and roll. It's kind of that same thing with active threat safety. And then I also incorporated it's social emotional learning, which you mentioned character strong. This aligns well with that. And if you could please go to the second slide. Oh, actually, sorry, the first one. So the first one right there, you can see there's resources for administrators that talks about doing an interior, exterior threat assessment, talks about putting together a safety team and who should be on it and what are their roles, and reunification, and just the overall lockdown procedures for interior, exterior threats. Then the teacher's guide, it's a comprehensive, what it does is it's comprehensive, meaning it covers all safety, all hazard safeties from fire. It has the kids take a safety walk around the school, and it talks about calling 911 and what does that look like and what are the procedures you follow. And then it's scripted, the scripted dialogue. A lot of the topics covered in this can be sensitive for kids. And so when it comes to this, a lot of teachers, it's there as a scripted resource if they need it. If they're more veteran teachers and experienced, they might not even refer to it. They might just follow the lesson plans for the day. It's intended to be a 2-week implementation with 1 to 2 hours per day of instruction. And it has 10 lessons, and it goes through, and then so the teacher's guide correlates with the student book. And then there's also resources for a parent guide. The online learning doesn't really apply to this system right now. That was kind of a pivot. And we created that manual, that online manual for parents who are educating their children at home during COVID. So if you could please go to the second one. Social emotional learning, just like I said, it kind of aligns with the program we'll be implementing here with the school district. Character strong. You can see the progression as far as what topics will be covered as they relate to safety. So manners, tattling versus telling, because some of the lessons in the book, we go through like sensing danger, listening to your inner voice, and what does that mean? If you see something, say something, and what is worth telling and what's versus tattling, and as far as bullying. And anyway, these just give you a rundown of some of the topics that we cover. And then if you could go to the next one, please. Here's a breakdown of what is covered in each book, which I kind of highlighted on already. And then there's also an early childhood kit, because there's not as much reading. It's more like posters, and they make their own puppets, and there are puppets. The character is Safety Sam. There's puppets to go with it. They have song and dance. And so it's a very non-threatening, child-friendly presentation where they get the grassroots level. They know the run, hide, fight protocol, but it's presented and they participate in a very child-friendly way. Next one, please. This is an example of a 4th grade teacher's guide where you can see it's the lessons are laid out and the topics that go with it. And then the text, as far as the scripted dialogue, the part on the side under teacher's note, that's in red. That's what draws attention to teachers only. And in that one specifically, that talks about what's necessary in regards to safety, what's necessary to put in like the IEP for kids with special needs. How do you integrate safety protocol with students with disabilities, and how do you proactively plan for that kind of thing? Another thing, as you know, the governor probably, you're aware that the governor had all school districts after the Parkland shooting in Florida, implemented all school districts were required to put in high quality emergency operation plans. And what happened is a lot of the school districts did that. They were required to put together, working with emergency management and law enforcement, they put together these emergency operation plans, all hazards, meaning dangerous weather, everything. And part of that requirement was to include an active shooter safety plan. And so what this does is in regards to the emergency operation plans, what this piece does is it puts it into action. So it's not just a piece of paper collecting dust. This is a proactive measure. So the kids know the vocabulary, they know the actions when seconds matter, the kids know what to do.
So that's a very good summary, Ingrid. Thank you for that. And just to dispel any questions people might have, as I've stated in my previous 2 districts, we had curriculum other than this. Most recently, I used this curriculum as I was teaching last year. Without question, this was the most comprehensive. It was the ease of implementation for the teacher with the script, which if you are less comfortable in those conversations, you have a script, and yet easily as you build your comfort level, you could use the scripts merely as a guide. We are proposing that this be purchased because it augments our building emergency operation plans, but it does it at the classroom level, and it supports also the curriculum for social emotional learning Character Strong that we recently adopted. And we're planning on purchasing classroom sets for materials that can be shared within and between teachers in a grade level. This is purely to save money. We have some funds available to be used for this. And we're hoping that with this, we have vetted it through the principals who have worked with their staff. It's been vetted through the crisis and life safety committee. And so we're looking tonight for your support. Ingrid is not at a point in a decision making capacity. So this doesn't violate any of our policies. I merely approached her and asked her if she would present this because I think it's the best product out there. She just happens to also work here. And she has no vote, nor is she on the committee that determined that this was the choice we would make.
And we did check with legal counsel to make sure that's still true. So
I guess, in short, I hate to pass up what I think is the best curriculum of this type, just because we're lucky enough to have Ingrid teaching for us.
So the cost is $6,700 probably.
Roughly, not to exceed 8 with shipping, and we did a brief count. We may augment with an extra copy or 2 if a book gets lost or misplaced or damaged, not to exceed 8,000. And this is pre-K through grade 6. We have a secondary plan that Jerry Mitchell is working on with local law enforcement to reinforce and augment this in grades 7 through 12.
Well, if you think it's really good and we have the money for it. Seems like maybe we should do it.
I'll make a motion to approve that safety strong curriculum not to exceed $8,000 and paid out of ESSER funding.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to improve the safety strong curriculum and not to exceed $8,000 to be paid for out of ESSER funding. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. It's just a pity that we need it.
Thumbs up from Catherine.
Okay, 5-0. Next item of business is policies. I hope you had a chance to look at those and read them. Anybody have any questions about any of them?
Maybe just, Pat, do you want to tell kind of where they came from and how we can?
Well, I did in my report, but from the IASB, the Iowa Association of School Boards, and their lawyers put this up after the legislative sessions or whenever anything comes to their attention that needs to be addressed. And these are mostly on how to pick curriculum and instructional materials and things like that. There's one on school day, which basically affects kindergarten. employee expression, child abuse reporting. Did anybody have any question? I can't get them to come up right now.
It will download and go to the lower
Yeah.
left hand and
Yeah,
then you'll click on the download version.
I'd make a motion to approve the first reading of the policy. Second.
And it's been moved and seconded to approve the first reading of policies as presented. Further discussion, if there's any. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Library bid.
Yes, so, our librarian has been working really hard over the past few years to update our libraries. Last year, out of ESSER funding, or also known as COVID dollars, we updated Washington. The middle school library got updated when we did the renovation of the middle school building, and now Lincoln is in the need of additional library storage spaces to come in second grade move, while also updating their current library space. They are currently using stuff from Jefferson Elementary when we have that, and we have COVID money available to update that library space to have a more efficient learning area, and also up to date bookshelves and tables and chairs to accommodate all the students over there. So
And as a reminder, Lincoln was not updated in recent years when Washington was. So this is a bit overdue. In my opinion.
So just so I understand, the items that we're purchasing are the highlighted ones on the written contract on page 2.
Well, they're all highlighted, lighted, except for the freight. I think.
Right, what's the total?
But we shouldn't pay those taxes.
right, and those are some of those things that were wiped off when we do the purchase order.
I'm sure I understand.
Yeah, the total is $65,417.73.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were doing something different because they, wrote on 1, 2, and 3 out of order and then highlighted them with different colors. So just want to make sure.
Yeah, so she presented it to me and leadership team as a ease and approach, primary 1, primary 2, primary 3.
Okay.
And then I was working with the building administration, right? Well, we thought that would be a great use of some ESSER dollars that are available till September of 2024. So why don't we just get taken care of all at once? And that's what I decided to bring to you guys for a recommendation today. Just have it completed, ready to go for the transitions coming.
Do we need to set a dollar figure in that or?
Well, if we set.
So it'd be the subtotal of $61,248.76 to exclude the sales tax that we'll have to remove from there.
Then I make a motion to approve the purchase of updated library equipment totaling $61,248.76 out of the ESSER funding. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the purchase of updated library equipment in the amount of $61,248.76 out of ESSER funding as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say
Aye.
no. 5-0. Financial report.
So Evan, I had a question on these for you real quick. And
Yeah.
Maybe this is kind of in there. A week ago, this past Saturday, we had honor band. And I'm gonna get the name of this town. Tiffin, or Tipton, I can't recall. It's right outside Iowa City.
Tiffin.
And they left here they left the bus lane at 7 in the morning. And all the students were taken to, I think, the Corville Mall to get lunch. And the district gave them money for lunch, which I think is a great thing, and we definitely should do that. But I don't know if all the parents knew that the students would have money for lunch as part of the succession or the success of being able to go to the district for the honor badge. So it was just a really cool thing that we did have. So just wanted to point that out.
Was that out of the Fine Arts Century Club?
I have no idea. That's why I
That's
couldn't
what we're-
see it and I was like, well, how did you fund it? Because it's not on.
That
here.
was
I
a
didn't know.
boosters.
Okay,
Initiatives, that's I have.
well, good job boosters. Thank you for that. That was very kind.
For the Fine Arts Century Club.
That's the one.
I was looking through the bills and I couldn't figure out where the money was. So I'm like, where did it come from? Because it's not. It's real money.
Yes, we currently have policies in place to hand out cash to kids to go get.
But it's a perfect use of booster money, Century Club.
That's what
money.
it's for.
Yeah.
Fundraising money.
Levels the playing ground, playing field for all students. To
Yeah,
have a fine.
it was a great way to do it. So.
Do you have any comment?
Yeah, do you want to make any comments or anything? Otherwise, I'd make a motion to accept the January 2023 financial reports as presented.
So moved and seconded to accept the January 2023 financial reports as presented. Any discussion or do you have any comment?
I just want to make a quick comment. So if you looked at the cash flow report, you see our debt service fund is negative. That is a timing on transfer. So this is a January report. That transfer didn't go through till the beginning of February. You remember when we were doing the North Grant building project, we had that change order of roughly 30 to 50,000, for the exact dollar figure on it. I had to transfer money to cover that portion. So that's why that's showing negative right now. But debt service is an in and out kind of fund. So I transfer money in there, pay for the bill. It should be zero at the end of the year. So that's the only comment I had.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. 5-0. Okay. CCEA master contract. This is what I was talking about earlier, the negotiations that, the district met with the, Education Association Teacher Group, and the agreement, is that we will advance the teacher step and lane and increase the regular program base salary by $171 and $397 to the teacher salary supplemental index, which is additional money we get to enhance our salaries. Health premiums will increase by 2% for the employee and 6.37% for the employer, for a total package increase of 3.34% overall for the teachers. And only wages were negotiated for 2023-24, since a 3-year agreement on language was reached in 2022-23. So we don't go through the contract language, it's just
This is just for this coming year.
So for 23-24, so to put that in a perspective, the average teacher raise will be $1,847. The top end teacher will get $2,645, which is roughly. One point I wanted to make pretty clear on here. So TSS is categorical funding, that is not general fund. The state gave us $970,000 this year. Last year we had less than that, so we were able to do a nice healthy raise in categorical funding. We also chose to buy down our current health fund, Fund 71. So there will be no new general fund money going to the health fund this year. We're just going to buy down that fund. So with that being said, we added a 171 to the regular program index. So the total new money going to teachers this year is just shy of $40,000. So I just wanted to put that in perspective, because you'll see the big dollar figure of $344,403. Only $40,000 of that is new money. The rest is just categorical and spending on the whole fund.
Can you say what the base salary is then?
Yeah, so the base salary will be $34,500, which is an increase of $171.
I'll make a motion to approve the CCCEA master contract changes and allow the district to reconcile the teacher supplemental salary if needed to comply with all laws and regulations.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve CCCEA master contract changes and allow the district to reconcile the teacher supplemental salary if needed to comply with all laws and regulations. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes 5-0. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Yes. See number 24, correspondence. Hmm?
Oh, that's part of his consent, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe you'll all receive an email about a CNA celebration.
Yeah, so the Foresight reached out to me and wanted to invite, you guys to a CNA celebration or CNA graduation on Friday, March 24th. In room 106 at 7:30 in the morning. So I'll just put that on there. They said they're gonna have breakfast treats.
I've been there every day.
If more, if there's any corners, I mean, I'll look at them.
Okay. Also, just a reminder that we have an upcoming workshop session on March 7th at 5 o'clock here in the library. You are going to be in Florida on March 7th? That's an important one. That's the one that we'll talk about the recommendation that you made. So we'll definitely get you in on Zoom for that one. Zoom, okay.
Right.
Sorry. Okay. All right, does anybody have any comments? More comments? Had a lot of great things happening with the kids, have been very successful in a lot of their endeavors and
I have one comment.
exciting. Yes.
Let's see, over a week ago, at the Lions Club, who generously donated $20,000 toward the Center for the Performing Arts. We had kids perform. It was Harper and Anders. They did their routine that they had done at contest, which was really good. It's kind of comedy. And then Anders sang and Harper played her viola. Swell.
Anything else?
So the Rotary needs to step up.
Actually, they were at the Rotary last week and they.
You know, I mean, they need to step up with the.
Oh, it's the
donation.
funding or something. I'll put a little pressure on it, Janice. I'll tell him you said it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to move into closed session at this time, so it is. So do we need a motion? We do that, yeah.
I'll make a motion to move into closed session per Iowa Code 21.5.1 parentheses I. Evaluate the professional competency of an individual.
For a second. Okay, roll call vote.
Robin House,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Berlin,
Yes.
Schroep.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a 2-minute break and.
So do you meet in here? Is that where you meet? I didn't know if you went into a room.
No, we're meeting here. So we'll go into closed session at 7:51. What?
What's the topic for the work session? What's